Guys, it's your girl Victoria back to you with another review for Couples Retreat Season 3, Episode 4. I didn't see a title for this episode. They be playing in our faces because they won't give me a title this week. But then next week, I'm going to see there was a title for Episode 4. So there ain't no title, so we're just going to go straight into it. So pretty much we're having little video diaries from Jalen and Kendra about the relationships and whatnot and what they're dealing with Jock and Fallon. Okay, we're moving right along. We get the couples. They get on a party bus, and the party bus brings them to a ranch. So the exercise that AJ has them do for this moment in time for that day is riding a horse and also cattle pinning. So the reasons for these exercises are for communication and trust. Pretty much to trust the animals. And that's all cool and stuff, AJ. I get why you having them do that. I get where you were going with this. By the end of the day, doing these exercises, honestly, if I'm being 100, AJ, I don't feel like it's really going to help them in a relationship. Because, yeah, it's going to help them like, oh, okay, now I can communicate with the animal. I can, trust better. But are they really going to use that for their actual relationships? I don't really feel like they are. But kudos to you for thinking outside the box, AJ. I'm going to give that to you or whoever probably thought about this exercise. Okay, so the only thing to take from those two exercises was most of them didn't want to do the cattle pinning. So it was only, I think, Breezy, Apollo, Shireen. I think I'm saying her name right for the first time. Shireen, Chris. There was one more couple. It was like 3 couples. Don't remember the third couple. That's fine. Fat Boy, he came over his fears with getting on a horse because he was afraid to get on a horse. He was even afraid to touch a horse, but he got on, so kudos for him. His wife walked him through that, even though she upset with him, so he said he really appreciated that. That's cool. So after that, the party bus brings them, actually, I don't think the party bus brought them back just yet, but later on in the day, we have AJ meeting up with Tiana 101 and Tony meeting up with Fat Boy 101. So talking about the relationship, Tiana does get emotional and lets us know in the confessional that she will leave if tells us and AJ that she will leave the relationship if I was going to call him F-Boy. If Fat Boy continues his BS with cheating on her and entertaining other females. Now, Tiana, I feel like you left before, if I'm not mistaken, or threatened to leave before, but yet you're still here. So I'm not saying you will never leave, but it's not really looking good, from what you're saying versus what you're doing, if you say so. That's always easier said than done. But if you do, completely understandable. If you stay, hopefully he just don't be on that FSHIT no more. Okay? When we get to Tony and Fat Boy, pretty much Fat Boy is getting heated, going 0 to 10 real quick about Tiana tripping and all that stuff, more or less. Okay, I'm not saying anything word for word, I'm just paraphrasing. So then that's when Tony's looking at him, because I guess Tony used to be a cheater himself. So he's like, you lying, and pretty much holds Fat Boy accountable for his actions. It's like, okay, you're doing all this, you're on 100 right now, but that's because you're guilty. Fat Boy doesn't necessarily disagree, but I guess he tries to go about it a little bit more. But Tony was like, nah, bro, like, listen, I've been there before, so I know what it's like and how the reaction is when you in the wrong. Once again, he don't say this word for it, I'm just paraphrasing. So do we get any real resolution? No, I guess the only resolution was Fat Boy does take some type of accountability. Is that going to help in his situation? I don't know, but for the time being, we'll give him his kudos where it's due. So then we move on to all the couples they're meeting up together at the campfire, bonfire, whatever you want to call it, so they could do the Ring of Fire exercise. Now, honestly, after watching 3 seasons of Couples Retreat, I do like the Ring of Fire exercise because I feel like this is where we really get into the nitty-gritty of the issues and how to try to attempt to overcome them. Do we actually overcome them? I really don't feel like it, because even after the end of seasons of Couples Retreat, I feel like we're still in the same cycle with couples who decide to stay together post Couples Retreat. So, what AJ's advice is good advice. So, like I said, for the time being, we're just going to roll with it, guys, okay? We're going to just roll with it and, try to take that and pertain it to our relationships outside of couples retreat. I'm not even talking about them at this point, but let's go with them since they're on the TV show. So, of course, who we got to have a guest. So who's the guest? It's Linda, which is AJ's friend. Linda is a body language expert, and, I think she did a great job. I tried to read a book, side note. I did try to read a book on body language, but I ain't no body language expert, okay? I try to be noticing things here and there, but I still have a long way to go. So I'm glad we have someone like Linda there to kind of help with the body language that probably would have went over my head. So we first start off with Fat Boy. He's first. So I believe AJ was asking him what's his excuse for cheating. Oh, she asked him for excuse for cheating, but I believe she asked him, like, why is he cheating? Like, why does he cheat? Why did he cheat on Tiana? His excuse was because he's afraid of his wife turning her back on him, because in his past he has had multiple people turning their backs on him. Fat Boy, yeah, I could see what you was trying to do with this explanation, but it wasn't hidden for nothing. Not one person. I really was looking at this like, that's the best you got, boy? That's the best you got. That's the best excuse you have for why you done cheated on your wife. Because you felt like she would turn her back on you. That makes absolutely no sense. So you felt like, okay, well, I might as well just cheat because she's going to turn her back on me anyway. Really? Anywho, Linda pretty much calls his BS and tells him about his body language. And she makes them, well, AJ and Linda makes him get Tiana up so he could go apologize to her, and even explains to him to tilt his head so he could feel the emotion. Tiana's liking what she's seeing. She's all smiles and giggles and stuff because she feels the love and whatnot. And he apologizes and they kiss, they hug, and that's that. Does that resolve their issues? No. But for the time being, because Linda said, I only got like maybe 30, 45 minutes tops. So that's all y'all going to get. We're going to go to the next person. She didn't want to get through all 6 couples, to be honest. But that's, probably editing and retakes and stuff, how they do on TV. So that's probably why she was like, okay, next. So who's next to the hot seat? Excuse me, Ring of Fire. Sorry if you heard that burp. Is Jock. So, long story short, because I'm not finna go word for word of what either person said, either party of the situation said, Jock is tired of Kendra holding this cheating baby scandal over his head, knowing that they moved forward, knowing that he told her before the blogs even found out, knowing that, they were planning a wedding, knowing that they got married, and yet he still has to hear this day after day, which I've been saying, Kendra, if you're really feeling so bothered with it, why you married homeboy? Why you still with homeboy? So when I'm thinking that Jock is finna be told like about his body language, it really kind of went on Kendra and her body language, because she's the one giving all the smoke, all the heat, all the bokeness to Jock and what he done did. And it's like she's not over it, because she even admitted that she is still triggered by what he done did. But how do we get through that triggeration? I'm making words up now at this point, okay? Bear with me, roll with me, okay? So AJ and Linda's pretty much calling her out, and she admits like, yeah, I'm still triggered, yeah, I'm still upset, but at this point, when are we gonna let that blame go? Not necessarily forget, but like, when are we gonna move forward to try to not build off of that infidelity and stuff, even though technically y'all was on a break, per their words. But when are we gonna try to move past and build towards more, build that trust again? It's like, we can't build it until we come over that hump. I feel like Jock is trying to get over that hump because he married you and all that stuff and trying to be with you, but you still not over that hump, that you guys having not countless or, nonsense arguments, but more or less ridiculous arguments about the same thing, that it's like, it's not going to change. The kid is here. I'm assuming he's taking care of the kid. So at this point, when are we going to stop talking about it at this point? Like, I feel like the kid's going to be graduating high school and you still going to be upset and saying sometimes, listen, it's okay to be upset, but if you still going to stay with the homeboy, then at some point we're gonna have to stop talking about it. Like, I'm tired of hearing about it, and I'm pretty sure he hears it way more than me, way more than we see it on TV. So Kendra, you're gonna have to work on that. So then after that, we get to Apollo. He's next. There's nothing much to take from him except that Linda can tell that he's controlling, because every move, I feel like in his head, well, she says it, but I also feel like in his head, he's thinking about every move he makes. So he's like, oh, they're not going to catch me slipping. I'm just going to stay straight and narrow, arms, fingers folded, clenched, and I'm just going to be in control of every movement I make, every word I say. So Shireen was just laughing because, like, that's exactly what it is. Shireen's been saying since day one that he's controlling. So obviously Linda sees that through his body language. Obviously everybody done seen it. Breezy done seen it. So it's nothing new. And even Apollo does admit that, he is controlling, but he has to be controlling for whatever reason. I didn't take in what he said. I didn't write down what he said. So it's just probably a piss poor excuse. So is he going to work on it? I don't know. I mean, maybe he'll work on it a little bit, but the way I feel he's controlling, and from what I've heard from other reviewers saying he was controlling on Real Housewives of Atlanta with his ex-wife, I don't really think it's going to change. But hopefully he could become better. We then move on to Jalen. He's next. Jalen was fidgeting the whole time he was asking questions. I can understand he was probably a little nervous, you know what I'm saying? And and when they was asking him the question of does he think he's going to get married to Fallon within the next 2 years, he kind of thinks about it, still fiddling, fidgeting, jiggling his hands, arms, ankles, all that stuff. And he's like, yeah, I can see it. They called BS right away. They said, no, you don't. No, you're not. No, you're not. From your body language and your response and the hesitation, it seemed, you don't see yourself getting married with her. And when they even asked him about his feeling for no respect from Fallon, he even says that he doesn't feel like he can show her. Like, he wants to show her, I believe. I'm maybe misconstruing his words. I'm sorry. But from what I gathered, he wants her to show her how to respect him. But at the same time, he doesn't feel like he's that person to do it for her. And then that's why AJ was like in the confessional, this is why I suggest you guys probably need to part ways. And are they going to part ways? Maybe, probably be for their own good, because, we're going to see what Fallon says at the end of the episode about their age difference. But, which I think is an excuse. I don't think it's the age difference. I just think you guys are on two different spectrums and not on the same page. But that's okay. That's just my opinion. And then we move on to Shamari next. Someone who's also not on the same page is her and her husband. Her question was, does she think their sexual chemistry will keep their marriage going? She says yes. Ronnie says no. And then when asked about the question, does she feel like she has any insecurities that she needs to work on? She says no. I don't think we got an answer from Ronnie, but for me, I'm just like, I feel like you guys are just never on the same page. I don't know if it's just me. I just feel like for them, they're just never on the same page. I don't know if they're playing a facade for the TV show, but it just seems like when someone agrees on something, the other person doesn't agree. So at what point are we going to agree on something? Because I feel like this is kind of a bicker back and forth. Like, can we ever agree on anything? The most y'all agree on is to disagree at this point. But I'm hoping the best for you guys. If is anything going to get reconciled, I don't know. But I know you guys probably still going to stay together, even when we get to the recommitment ceremony that AJ be talking about. So other than that, nothing else to say. Chris and Breezy. Okay, BRE-Z. This is the couple, like I said, pretends that they're perfect, but at the same time, you can see the underlying issues that they be having. AJ hit it on the nail. Hit the nail on the head. So I guess Chris was feeling some type of way that AJ asked her about the cigarette situation a couple weeks ago. Breezy was feeling some type of way about it. Even got buck at AJ a little bit. And then they went to commercial for dramatic effect. Came back from commercial for dramatic effect. Breezy still low-key going off on AJ that, got her high and stuff. She was about to blow up or whatever she said, word for word. I'm just paraphrasing, you know me. And AJ apologizes to Chris, but does see that it seems like Breezy speaks for her and Chris a lot. And I think she wants to get to the bottom of that situation, but can commend Chris for kind of speaking up for herself. And Ronnie and Shamari do notice that too. For me, I'm just going to say this. With them two, it's just like, if you guys ain't trying to dish out or talk about what you guys got going on. Why are you on the show? Because Chris even made the mention of, oh, I feel like you was trying to bring it out of me of my issue with her smoking when I don't have an issue. But yet a couple episodes ago, you was just saying how you had an issue, that you didn't necessarily like it. So which one is it? And then on top of that, you on this show, they're going to be trying to bring out stuff. That's how AJ works. She's going to try to bring out issues to see what's the underlying issue in your relationship. So if you didn't want that, why are you on the show? This is what I'm talking about. Like, I'm so tired of couples or people coming on types of show acting like they don't know what's about to be going down. But then when they be going down, they be getting upset that it be going down. So you can have Breezy pulling out of other people of what they got going on, but in your own relationship, you don't want that to happen. Well, then I'm sorry. She should have asked AJ to be one of the mentors like Tony and not have her actual significant other on there to discuss their issues. So I don't got time for that. Like I said, I feel like there's a way more underlying issues other than what AJ mentioned about Breezy trying to talk for both her and Chris. But they're not going to be forthcoming with that information. So I'm just going to try to ignore them. Breezy be coming with good advice, but at the same time, don't be dishing it if you can't take it. Moving on, we then get to... Oh, no, that's it. I think they were the last couple. So the couple's right back on the party bus to the resort. They talk and they chill. Nothing to take from that scene. They return and they turn up. They wait till midnight to turn up for Tiana's 25th birthday. So they take shots, then they cheer, and I guess they go out. And then we see a video diary from Fallon. I keep wanting to say Fallon. Fallon. She does a video diary at 3:30 a.m. being in her feelings because Jalen didn't want to come back to the hotel or the resort with her. He wanted to hang out with the boys. So she's in her feelings with that. She's considering ending things with him, saying, oh, maybe the experts or whatever was right. And then when we go to commercial for dramatic effect and come back from commercial for dramatic effect, we have this question of the week. I forgot. See, I always forget about this. I'm not going to say stupid, but there's a little question of the week thing. But the question of the week is, how can I make you feel safe and secure in our relationship? And for all 3 seasons, am I going to say anything of what they said? No. Because they just say regular schmegular things. And I don't feel like it's any importance for us to be writing it down. Or for me to be writing it down and relaying what they done said. Because they say that, in these nice settings. But then we see what really be going on when they don't be in these nice settings for these questions. Okay, so then we get to Chris. She comes to visit Fallon to sit down and talk so Fallon can vent about her relationship. And then we move on to Tony. He talks to Jalen one-on-one about his relationship, and Jalen lets us know in a confessional that, he's going to get his respect or he will be leaving. Once again, easier said than done, and I will believe it when I see it, Jalen. But I guess Fallon beat him to the punch because he mentions to Tony that Fallon did message him that she doesn't think it's going to work. And then we get that confessional scene from Fallon saying something about their age difference, so she doesn't think it's going to work. I don't think age difference has anything to do with it, Fallon, because you guys did get together and age difference wasn't a problem when you guys first got together. Age difference wasn't a problem when you got pregnant, had his baby. So I don't want to hear none of that excuses about age difference, but maybe you guys just outgrown each other. Because like I said, I just really feel like he was a rebound from your ex-husband. And now that the fire done died out and you don't be having no respect for him anyway. So now it's just kind of like, what are we here for? Y'all could co-parent, that's cool. But other than that, I don't think nothing else is really going to come from it. So maybe that's what it is, Fallon. But age difference, you bring in the fact that he's 23, it don't matter, because if he was still interested in you and, excuse my language, dicking you down, I don't think you would be having a problem with the age difference. So I don't want to hear it. But that was the end of the episode. I can never talk. That was the end of the episode. Listen, I don't know where this is going to go. Are any of these couples going to last? I mean, maybe for the commitment ceremony with the exception of Fallon and Jalen. But post long term, Shamari and Ronnie, Kendra and Jock, maybe Breezy and Chris. I don't know, but the other 2 Shireen, Apollo, who knows, and Fatboy Tiana, they might last because they got kids and stuff, so they might last. But they still, the issues, I feel like it's still gonna be there. But what do I know? Okay, what do I know? I just focus on me and my relationship, and I just watch this for entertainment purposes and just put my little 2 cents opinions in videos and post it on YouTube. So anyway, if you guys like this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you laughed at least once, please subscribe. If you didn't laugh, please come back next week. Hopefully I can make you laugh. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Please be easy, breezy, lemon squeezy. Have a good Tuesday night, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.